Hello, fairy finders and fairy seekers. Welcome to FaerieQuest, and we are going to try something a little different today. As you see on the screen here, we have a picture of what I like to call the Nun Light Being. She looks like a nun wearing a habit of sorts, and we are going to ask her if she has any messages to share with you today. And what we're going to use are Scrabble pieces and see what words form and seeing what fits for you best. So we're going to change views here now. Keep her in your mind. And if you have a specific question, go ahead and ask it now. And let's see what happens. Okay, so here we have our bag of Scrabble tiles. And we're going to pull 8 of them at random and see if there's any words that form that can offer us a message from the Nun Light Being. So there we have an E and a Z and a T and an R . Another T, an O, another E, and an N. Okay, so the first word that I actually see here is the word torn. Perhaps this fairy being is sharing that she realizes that some of you are torn somehow, torn between a relationship or a situation or something that tears you in half. I mean, you could be having a battle with your best friend over even political things. I mean, the world has been kind of topsy-turvy. So this light being is letting you know that, she is aware that some of you are definitely torn here. We also have the word net. And, a net is something that is for either catching something or, catching something, meaning catching and capturing or catching for safety. So some of you may be needing something that has to do with a safety net of some sort. Or maybe some of you are feeling as though you are in a net of some kind. Then there's also the word 10. For some of you, this may be a lucky number, 10. For some of you who are used to numerology, you may want to break that down to just a 1. So 1 plus 0 is 1. Maybe that has meaning to you. We also have the word, using more letters, the word rotten. Now perhaps this Nun Light Fairy isn't letting you know that there is maybe something rotten in your refrigerator. Maybe she is letting you know that there is something rotten going on around you that you should be aware of. This could be many things that are rotten. A lot of things have gone, awry in the world here, and maybe that is, just letting you know that what you maybe believe is not exactly the way things are. Things are rotten. We also have the word trot. And of course, this is something that a dog will do. this is something a horse does. People don't usually trot, but I suppose we can. But perhaps this is the Nun Light Being's way of saying that your pet needs a little bit of extra exercise, or perhaps the word trot means something else to you. We also have the word zen here, and we could probably all use a little bit of that, meaning a little more balance and meditation and such in our lives, just to make things a little more peaceful, and sometimes to make things, in a day-to-day basis, a bit more bearable. And then we also have the word wrote. Okay, so if the setup looks a little bit different than previously, it's because it is. For some reason, my program stopped recording at this point, so I reset up to finish it off yet again. So anyway, we have wrote, which means it's a memorization, a kind of a mechanical way of memorizing. Maybe you are learning tarot cards or something like that, that makes it so that you are memorizing in kind of a mechanical kind of way, trying to memorize through the books. Then there is also the word one. The song says one is the loneliest number. I don't agree. I think the light fairy is sharing, one is something that we are. And either you're comfortable with yourself or you're not comfortable with yourself. And maybe you are doing a lot of inner work concerning the number one, you. Or this could be, since we also had the number 10, maybe you're trying to make a decision of some sort. And this is the fairy's suggestion to write down some possibilities from 1 to 10 and then choose a number between 1 and 10 and see which one you can use, which suggestion you can use to take some action. We also have the word, which stands out when 1 is there, zone. This goes back to Zen. Maybe we're in the zone. Maybe you're in the zone. Maybe there's something that you are working very, very hard on, focusing on, something that you're trying to learn by rote, such as tarot cards or runes or something like that, and you're really in the zone. And the Light Being Fairy wants you to know that they are very much aware of that. There's also the word rent. Maybe you've paid your rent just recently, or you're thinking about selling your house and renting, or you're just thinking about renting someplace new, or maybe a space, renting a space. And that could maybe go back to the word zone also. Maybe what you want to do has to be a specific zone. A lot of possibilities here. And double on the agenda here is, we have this twice, E.T. Nothing is impossible. So if you happen to be studying aliens, or maybe you feel like you're from Sirius, or from Ort, which I believe is also considered an alien planet. Nothing wrong with any of those things. The Light Being Fairy is letting you know that she is fully aware of this. And we also have the word tree. It is possible that you are growing trees or a specific tree, having trouble with an indoor tree, trying to make sure that a tree that you planted outside is surviving the cold weather that we have right now, or the really hot weather, depending on where you're at. Perhaps you're trying to do communication with a tree, or you just need to go and hug a tree. We also have the word tone. This could have to do with physical being, toning muscles, toning body. It could be working with your voice. If you have an interest in singing and you are working with your voice, or maybe you're having relationship issues concerning tone of voice, or you feel your tone of voice is a little too strong or someone else is a little too strong. This is something that the Nun Fairy is letting you know she is aware of. And the last thing that I see at this time is the word teen. And this may be sharing with you that you should pay a little extra attention to what's going on with your teenager if you have a teenager, or to maybe spend a little extra time with that teen if at all possible. At any rate, something to do with your teenager. Maybe something going on in his or her life that you are aware of and, needs a bit of focus. So with all these words that this Nun Light Being has given us through these 8 letters, perhaps one has stood out to you, or several have stood out to you more so than any other. Maybe you've seen a word or two that I have not seen. If that's the case, that is what you should consider perhaps your focus for today. Ask for other signs and synchronicities to validate what you're thinking, what you believe that this particular word or words share with you. But know that if a word came forward that you can relate to, know that the fairies are aware of what is going on, and they're letting you know that they are aware through this video. Now, this is a timeless video. Whenever you watch it is when you're meant to watch it, which means these words can work for you at any point in time. So just imagine any of these words just really popped out at you before they were even said, or once they were brought up and you're like, oh yeah, that's the situation I'm in right now. You know that the fairies are making you aware that this is something worth focusing on. So that is it for this reading for today. I hope you enjoyed, and we will talk to you again later. Take care.